schoolscreenprinting.com. I'm here today to show you how to print white ink on a black t-shirt with one stroke. Yes, that's right, one stroke. It really isn't necessary to use a flash or multiple strokes to get a brilliant white ink on a black t-shirt. Printing is really all about producing as many shirts as possible in the least amount of time. It isn't the work that's important, it's the results. Let me show you how this is done. We'll start off with just a Pellon, okay? Put the Pellon on the platen. We're going to make a fill stroke, not a flood stroke, but a fill stroke. You do not want to flood the screen. What you want to do is raise the screen slightly. You want to use a good hard stroke, and what we're doing is we're filling the mesh openings with ink. We're not making a flood stroke. As you can see the design. We cleaned the ink off the surface. Next, we're going to bring the squeegee behind the ink, where you're going to use a slight downward pressure. The more pressure you use, the more ink you're going to drive into the shirt, the less ink that's going to be on the top of the shirt. We're going to make a very light pass. We only need to move that mesh down approximately 1/16 of an inch. It doesn't take a lot of pressure to do that. Now this is on a Pellon. As you can see, that's a brilliant white ink. It looks great. Can we do it on a t-shirt? Let's find out. Now we're going to print the same image on a black t-shirt. We're using a Gildan heavy cotton shirt. We're using Triangle Stay True 1701 Phoenix white ink. Although any white ink will work, you may have to adjust the mesh accordingly for different ink manufacturers, but the truth is you can use any white ink. This is a 110 mesh that we're using. We can achieve the same results using a 156 with a different ink. This ink needs a 110. First thing you want to do is you want to make a fill stroke. You do not want to use a flood stroke. You want to use a fill stroke. What you're going to do is start at the back. You're going to use about a 37-degree angle on the squeegee. You're going to raise the screen slightly so it's off of the t-shirt. You're going to use a good hard stroke. And the purpose of this stroke is to fill those mesh openings with ink in preparation for the ink transfer. Next, we're going to pick the squeegee up. We're going to put it behind the ink. We're going to use a slight downward pressure. You don't need to use a lot of pressure. The more pressure you use, the more ink you're going to drive into the shirt, the less ink is going to be on the top. We want to only press this down enough so that the mesh kisses the top of the shirt. We only have to move the mesh down 1/16 of an inch. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. We're going to make a very light stroke right on top of that shirt. I'm going to raise it up. And what you're seeing is one stroke. I didn't flash this. I didn't have to. I didn't have to make multiple strokes. There's no smoke and mirrors here. If you want to learn more about producing this type of work in one stroke, visit schoolscreenprinting.com for one of our online seminars. Thank you. I'm Bill Hood.